Hello, welcome. I am so glad that you're here and listening in. This is the beginning of a 4-part video series. I've titled it Stop the Yo-Yo, 4 Simple Steps to Create a Healthy Lifestyle That Lasts. And today I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction and then cover step number 1, which is, in my opinion, one of the, well, I did step number 1 for a reason. It's the place to start for sure. So first of all, before we dive in, for those of you that don't know or recognize me, my name is Tiffany Rudd, and I created and host a healthy lifestyles challenge called Feel Great in 8. And I will tell you more about that and actually quite a bit more about myself. I'm going to share some stories today and throughout the workshop, so you'll get to know me a lot better. I'm going to get really real, so you'll get to know me really well. But let's get going. So first of all, I wanted to cover just really quick how to get the most out of our time during these videos. I know how busy you are. We as women are so incredibly busy. I know how valuable your time is. During these videos, so that you get the most out of your time, I want to recommend that you turn off everything else that is working in the background. Email, social media, Netflix, anything that's going on around you. If you can turn it off, you really will get more out of this time that we have together. I even recommend that you silence your phone, close your door if you can, which is like, if you're a mom, is just like a huge thing for us, right? Close your door and give yourself time to focus on you while you're watching these videos. And we don't do that very often, I know. But I do believe it will be worth it. I have cram-packed this workshop with so much information that I really, truly believe will be valuable for you if you'll give it your time. Okay. So first of all, I want to start off here. You are in the right place. I really, truly believe that. You are in the right place if you are tired of the yo-yo dieting cycle and constantly being on or off one diet or another. And I have been there. Before I was even 18, before I had even become an adult, I had done every diet imaginable. Atkins and Weight Watchers and the cleanse that everybody did in the 90s where we drank like lemon and cayenne pepper or something, right? Horrible. The things that I had done to my body to lose weight before I was even a woman. So I have been there constantly on one diet or another. You are in the right place if you can relate to that. You are in the right place if you feel trapped in emotional eating jail and you feel like you'll never ever be free or finally have the willpower to stick to a healthy lifestyle long term. And I am an emotional eater. It has taken me years to get to a place where I don't feel trapped in this cycle of testing my willpower and then being disappointed in myself, right? Over and over and over again. And it's not a fun place to be, but you are in the right place. You're not alone. Oh, and speaking of which, stay tuned. Actually, at the end of the 4th video, I'm going to tell you how to get my emotional eating game plan, which is step by step of exactly, and a worksheet that you can fill out of exactly what I have done to finally break free of that. So keep watching. Stay with me. Okay, you are in the right place if you hate your body. Oh my goodness, I have been there. If you hate your body or you feel like you'd just be so much happier and finally be able to live and enjoy life if you could just lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 100 pounds, you're in the right place. I know the pain of that, and you're not alone. So here you go. You are not alone. We are in this together. Hundreds of other women from all over the country, all over the United States, all over the globe, watching and feeling those same things, and we are in this together. I think there's such power in a me too like that. In knowing that you're not alone, that you're not the only one that has felt those things and felt trapped in those places. Okay, so before we dive into the first step, I told you I'd tell you a little bit more about me and some stories. And these are the two stories that I wanted to tell you. I call them my aha moments. 2 moments where I learned some really valuable, powerful lessons. So this first one is a picture of my family, and I am incredibly blessed with a fantastic husband, Adam, and then 4 really amazing children. The aha moment, though, happened actually years before any of them were born. Before I was married or had children, I was a student up at Utah State University. And I told you that by that point, before I had even started college, I had done diet after diet after diet and really had an adolescence obsessed with the scale and with my weight and my body. And eventually, by the time I had gotten into college, that had turned into a full-blown eating disorder. I was very literally starving myself to look different, to lose weight. And I remember this very powerful moment up at Utah State. I was sitting in a science class, and we were reading in a textbook about the side effects and long-term consequences of anorexia. And there on the page, oh my goodness, I always get a little bit emotional when I tell this story. There on the page of that textbook in front of me was a list that included infertility. And all of a sudden, in the middle of this science class, I was bawling. And I must have looked just crazy, but it hit me so hard in that moment that I was giving up something that I wanted so badly. I wanted to be a mom one day, very badly. And I was giving that up to look differently, to weigh less. And that was the first moment, and that led to a lot of years and a lot of hard work towards recovery. But that was the first moment where it really hit me that there are so many more important things than how I looked, that my health was more important than my weight. And we're going to come back to that. But that was the first time I learned that really important lesson. The second aha moment is more recent. So just a few years ago, I had been hosting Feel Great in 8 challenges for years, quite a few years. And I had kind of lost that truth a little bit. I was not loving my body. I remember this particular moment happened in the morning. I was doing my hair and talking to my husband, and I said, oh, the craziest thing happened. I got this email from a local TV station called Studio 5, or TV show called Studio 5, asking if I'd come and film a segment, a cooking segment for the show. And I said to him, oh, there's no way that's happening. We'd had our 4th baby. That was the beginning. I've been struggling with some thyroid issues, which I'm sure some of you can relate to. And I was not loving my body. And I said to him, oh, there's no way I'm going on TV looking like this, essentially. And luckily, my awesome husband called me out on it big time. He said, that is not what you teach, and it's time to live what you teach. And I'm so glad that he did, because I wrote back and I said, sure, I'll come film a segment. I'll try that new experience. And this picture is, I think, the first time that I filmed a segment for Studio 5. And I was able to do it a few times after that. And that led to speaking at some conferences and all of these incredible experiences and wonderful people that I met that I never would have if I had been waiting to enjoy life and experience things until the scale said what I thought it should say. And we're going to come back to that too. But I hope those 2 quick experiences kind of tell you a little bit more about me and where I come from, and I guess my journey to get to the place I'm in now. So, okay. Before we dive into step number 1, I promised you that I would tell you why dieting doesn't work. And then we'll get into what to do instead, right? So dieting does not work because we are not robots. If we were robots, it would be great. Calories in, calories out, eat this, don't eat that. No problem. But the problem, or really the amazing, beautiful thing, is that we're human, right? And when we get stuck in this dieting cycle, we are putting all of our focus on the physical, and we end up neglecting the mental, emotional, and spiritual sides of ourselves. And we cannot last in that out of balance place for long. When you deprive and restrict and control and try to shrink, right? We get so out of balance that we cannot stay in that place for long. It doesn't work. So no matter how many diets we start and how long they work, like they might last for weeks or months, they will not last long term. We need to find that place of balance, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So I always challenge everyone in these workshops and that I talk to finally give up. To decide today that you are done dieting for good. And I know that's scary or hard or difficult to think about, right? You're done. You're not on the next diet, even if it sounds great. We're done dieting for good. And it's okay because, like I said, I'm going to tell you what to do instead. But that starts with a decision and a commitment to stop doing that to yourself. Okay. So let's dive in. Like I told you, I will tell you what to do instead. It's going to be okay. Okay, so first of all, I want to do a quick overview of the 4 steps so that you know what's coming up. Step 1, we're going to talk about in this video, and we're going to talk about changing the way you think about you and your body. And this is a completely different step than you've ever heard to start with before, I promise. Step number 2. We're going to talk about willpower. We're going to try to understand how willpower works and use that information to create lasting habits. Willpower is fascinating to me. I have done a lot of nerdy reading on the science and the studies they've done on willpower. It's just amazing how our brains work and why we make the decisions we do and do the things that we do. So I'm going to share all of that nerdy reading information with you, and we're going to talk about how to use that information. And then step 3, we're going to talk about emotional eating and get a plan in place. I know how huge this one is for so many of us. Even if we get everything else in line, if we don't address the emotional eating, it's just not going to work. So we're going to go there not today, in video number 3. And step number 4, we're going to talk about finding the support you need to make it happen. And we're going to talk about how and where to find the support, even if it's not in your life right now. Because I know there's a lot of you out there that just don't have that close to you. So we're going to talk about that. That's an important step too. Okay, so before we get started, and I wish I could sit and chat with you, but I want you to just write it down or say it out loud or jump on my Facebook page and let me know. Are you ready to feel great, weigh less, and love your body right now? Like, are you here and ready? And I do. I wish I could just hear you respond right now. Okay, let's start with step number 1. Now, I live in kind of the health and fitness blogger world. I'm an odd duck in that world because I don't talk about weight loss or toning or a lot of those things, but that's the world that I live in. And so I know that nobody else is telling you this as your first step. The first step is always get a gym membership or clear all the cupboards from all the junk food, right? Or cleanse and only drink lemon juice for a week. I'm telling you that we have been starting in the wrong place. the very first step needs to be changing the way you think about you and your body. And here is the truth. You and your body are worthy of love right now, exactly as you are. I know that that might be hard for some of you to hear and believe, but it is the truth, and we're going to spend some time talking about it. You and your body are worthy of love exactly as you are right now. I have seen it over and over again. Lasting, healthy habits do not start from a place of hate and disgust. This is where we need to start. We need to get to a place where you can believe with all of you that you and your body are worthy of love. So I told you an experience even just a few years ago, and I always kind of laugh. Even now, after all of these years, this is hard to remember. It's hard to learn in the first place, and it's hard to remember. And I'm like, why is it so hard? Why do I still have to have my husband call me out on it while we're getting ready in the morning, right? But here's kind of some good news here. If you have a piece of paper, I would totally jot down beautyredefined.net, because this is a fantastic website run by two girls that have become good friends of mine, where they share years and years of research on this topic. But this is why it's so difficult to remember, because we are surrounded by the opposite message. Magazines and billboards and commercials and TV shows all telling us that we are only worthy and valuable of love if we look this way and have this shape of body and are this size. And here's what it comes down to. That is not the truth. That is advertising. That is them trying to make money by telling you that you're not good enough the way you are right now. It's not the truth. The truth is what I just told you. You and your body are valuable and worthy of love exactly as you are right now. And I think knowing this can be incredibly powerful, because when we are aware of it, we can fight those messages. We can know that that's not true. That's advertising, right? Okay, I'm going to teach you a trick that works for me when I start to forget that. So right now, I want you to stop and I want you to think of someone you love. Actually, particularly a girl or a woman that you love. So get a clear picture of that girl or woman in your mind. This is who I always think of. These are my girls. These are my daughters. And when I forget that about myself, I stop and I think about them. And these are little notes that I wrote to my girls. And things that I want them to know and always remember. I want them to know that their bodies are amazing exactly as they are. I love those bodies. I helped create those bodies. And I love those bodies no matter what size or shape or height or weight they are. I know how amazing their bodies are no matter how they look. Right? And I want them so badly to remember that always. I want my girls to eat vegetables. And I feed my kids healthy foods, not because I want them to lose weight. I want them to eat healthy, nutritious foods just because they're good for them. Because I want them to have energy to play. I want them to be healthy and happy. I want them to eat vegetables just because they're good for you, not because they'll shrink their bodies. Right? I want them to always love themselves and their bodies. Statistically, girls lose that incredible sense of confidence and self-worth at age 9, which just about scares me to death. I so desperately want to save my girls from the pain that I put myself through for so many years. I want them to always, always love themselves and their bodies. So when we forget that that is true about us, let's stop and think about these girls and women that we love. All of those things that I am telling my girls are true about me too. All of the things that you would tell that woman that you love, whether it's a mom or a sister or a best friend, those are true about you too. And I love this quote from Brené Brown. She says, "Talk to yourself like you would to someone you love." All of those things that you would tell to that sister, mom, daughter, best friend are true about you too. And it's time to start talking to yourself like you would to them. Remind yourself that those things are true. Okay, so if you have a piece of paper, I would recommend you write these down. I want to tell you 3 truths to hold on to and make a part of who you are starting today. Truth number 1, your body is an instrument, not an ornament. Now let's talk about what that means. I love this quote from Glennon Melton, another blogger that I really love. She says, "Your body is not your masterpiece. Your body is the paintbrush you use to create your masterpiece." The point of your body, the purpose of your body, is not to look good or to look hot in a swimming suit or to be a certain size. The purpose of your body is to be an instrument that you get to use to enjoy and experience life. Nobody cared what Rembrandt's paintbrushes looked like, or really what Rembrandt looked like, because that was not his gift to the world. And your body and its size and shape is not your gift to the world. You have so much to offer, gifts and talents and beauty to bring to the world that have absolutely nothing to do with how you look. Truth number 2, it's time to stop letting the scale decide what you experience. Now, I told you one experience when that happened, when I chose to say yes to doing that cooking segment. But this is another one that I wanted to share just really fast. Last year, this is a huge group of friends, a bunch of moms that took off the weekend. We left 20-something kids behind and spent the weekend 3 days at the beach. And we wore swimming suits, and we had dirt in our hair, and we swam in the ocean, and we had a blast. And I am so glad that I didn't choose to worry more about how I looked and stay home because I didn't want to be in a swimming suit. How many times have we missed parties or gatherings or activities because we were too worried about how we would look doing it? It is time to stop letting the scale decide what you get to experience in life. This is the purpose of your body: joy and happiness and experiences and adventure. Okay, one more truth. Your reflection does not define your worth. Your value and worth to the world has nothing to do with how you look. Now, I know that those truths aren't always easy to hear and remember. Write them down. Come back to them. Keep reminding yourself of those truths. It'll make a huge difference in the choices that you make and in the way that you think about and treat your body. Okay, at the end of each of these steps I'm giving you, I am going to tell you an action step. So this is something that you can do starting today to put these steps into action in your life. This one says, exercise because you love your body, not to change it. Eat to nourish your body, not to deprive it. So when you now go forward and and stop to make decisions about the exercise that you're going to choose or the food that you're going to eat. Stop and think about the reasons behind them. Reconnect to those truths that you are valuable and beautiful and worthy of love right now. And make sure you're making those decisions for the right reasons. We don't exercise in ways that we hate. We move our bodies in ways that we enjoy because exercise gives us energy. It helps us be able to enjoy and experience life. We make choices on what to eat because we're trying to nourish our body. We eat vegetables and nuts and protein to nourish our body instead of rice cakes because they're low in calories, right? If you love rice cakes, eat rice cakes. That's great. But our decisions are made differently when our goal is to nourish and love, not to deprive and starve. So start today. Exercise because you love your body, not to change it. Eat to nourish your body, not to deprive it. Reconnect to those truths that help you know that you are beautiful and worthy of love exactly as you are right now. Okay, so if I could sit and talk to you right now, I would want you to take a minute to get really real with me. Stop and think. On a scale from 1 to 10, where are you right now? 1 being you hate your body and want to change your body, and 10 being that you know those truths, that you and your body are worthy of love right now. And be honest. I have been a negative 20, at least. And it's okay to not be in a great place right now. I promise. I have been there. But take a minute to kind of be honest with yourself and answer that question. And then on a scale from 1 to 10, where do you want to be? Envision a different way of feeling and thinking and treating your body. Hopefully that's a 10, 12, 20, right? Getting to a place where you know how incredible and amazing your body is. Getting to a place where you're making choices from that place of love to energize and nourish and fuel your body and love it no matter what, and to experience life no matter what the scale says. So I hope you'll take time to be honest with yourself there. I hope you maybe even took some notes, or maybe you want to go back and watch this video again and reconnect to those truths and remind yourself of them when you forget. It's such a powerful first step, a really powerful place to start that's going to change the decisions you make moving forward. And I hope that that's helpful. So that's the end of this first video. Make sure you come back for video number 2. We're going to talk about step 2. We're going to talk about willpower, and I'll share all my nerdy reading and research with you guys, and how that can make a difference in the decisions that you make going forward. So I'll see you in that next video.